Hello, everyone. Welcome to Big Finish fans of the Ninth Doctor Series 1 tier list as we take a trip of a lifetime, Big Finish style. So, once again, I'm joined with the Big Finish fans regular. James has disappeared and Luke has materialised back again.
Yeah, we've done a it's unregenerate, haven't we?
We have indeed.
Yeah, good to be here again.
Yeah, it seems like a while since we did our last one, which was Annihilators.
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah, I think that was our only one in February.
Hmm.
I think we hit the ground running in January and then sort of stalled a bit February.
Yeah.
Hello, Stylish One, and hello, Charles Edwards.
Hello. So while we're waiting for a few more people to join, what have you been doing? It feels like a while since I've actually spoke to you. So what have you been doing to keep yourself busy?
Been on a first stage training course. Always
very exciting.
enjoy. Always a decent way to kill a Saturday, I guess.
Oh, yeah, very exciting.
Yeah. Didn't save a baby from choking, so all good.
Well, no, not to go near Luke. He's not going to save your life.
Nope.
Oh dear.
But yeah, other than that, just the usual stuff. Actually, started a rewatch of Sarah Jane Adventures, going through right from the start.
On BritBox or DVD?
Dug out the old DVDs.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and then I think Blu-ray for the last two series. I'm not there yet.
Oh, he's a fancy man. I still feel like I need to pick up Sarah Jane. I've got a series 1. But I've not got the rest. Mainly because I thought I might do still books of them. But I feel like that boat's long since sailed.
Yeah, these were ones I got like ages ago while they were still coming out, so some of them are a bit tatty as well.
I mean, that just shows they're well loved.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun, really, because obviously watched the whole series when it came out, and then went back to the odd episodes since. But I've never done a proper sit down, start to finish, go through the series. And it's always good to like see the episodes you didn't appreciate as much at the time through that, and so wouldn't be as inclined to go back to.
Did Old Friends sort of inspire you because of like the Brig episode?
I'm not sure really. I was just randomly in the mood for Sarah Jane Adventures, and then just thought, I'll start with Enemy of the Bane, go from the beginning, because that's a story I definitely haven't watched a long while since. Like, I don't think I maybe went back to that once when I first got the DVD. Yeah, it's a weird one because you don't have Clyde in it, for one thing. It feels like the second Doctor without Jamie, having Sarah Jane Adventures without Clyde. Because they both got that one story right at the start. And yeah, it also just feels like a different show, even though it's not this pilot at all. It was made to go along with the whole series. It just has such a, I suppose, almost Torchwood Series 1 feel to it in the cheapness. Obviously not in the any other way, but yeah, just the way it's made, it feels oddly cheap, but in a charming way compared to the rest of the series. And it's very 2000s with the whole bubble shock adverts and stuff. It's weird getting hit with nostalgia for the mid noughties up, do we call them?
I guess so, yeah.
Because so like when you say 2000s, you're talking about the whole 1,000 years in a way.
Yeah.
Which
it always feels strange that they call it noughties. I'm like, what makes it naughty?
It's because it's the it's 3 noughts, 3 zeros, so that's where it comes from.
All right, I feel like I've been cultured.
It took me a while to work it out. To be fair. But yeah, I've got up to Temptation of Sarah Jane Smith, so it's Brigadier up next, actually.
Very exciting.
Yeah, Mark of the Berserker is one that I remember not enjoying too much.
I don't like that one from memory.
Yeah, I didn't like it much either, but rewatch really did come around on it. It's an odd one. I didn't remember it being a Sarah Jane Light episode, but she's hardly in it.
I think that's maybe why I didn't like it.
Yeah, you don't like your Doctor Light episodes, do you?
Yeah, so. I'm like, it's called Sarah Jane Adventures. I want me some Sarah Jane.
Well, at least it doesn't do a Book of Boba Fett and stick the Doctor in there for a whole episode by himself. Have him star in the spin-off of his own show.
Even though I didn't mind that, because I was like, oh, I like Mando. He's a good man.
Yeah, that's true.
Didn't mind that. I mean, I don't think that's a spoiler.
Nah.
It's been out for a couple of weeks now.
Yeah, and it's only who features in an episode. But what's another one that surprised me? Eye of the Gorgon. That was another one I don't often go back to, but yeah. It's all good stuff, all good character stuff as well. I think that was one of the things that helped me with Mark of the Berserker, was just like seeing the characters on this lazy weekend in a way for a while of it. I think there's something just about, because with Doctor Who, you don't often get to see that regular life because it is always off in the TARDIS, whereas here, you are getting to experience the more, what you would say is mundane stuff.
Yeah.
To sort of contrast all the alien excitement. Yeah, there's just something pleasant about it, I suppose. And then you get Maria and Alan back for one last hurrah in that episode, which it's a shame that they never got back again after that, like for Wedding of Sarah Jane or something, get them flying over. But
yeah, because I swear it's just like, oh yeah, Maria sends her regards.
Yeah, you could tell it wasn't. Yeah, you could tell it wasn't meant to be their last appearance. It's very much just, oh, we'll stick them in this episode, then we'll have them back at some point. But yeah, they just sort of move on from them after that, really.
Well, Sarah Jane tier list in the future.
Yeah, that'll be a project to get to at some point.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I should go back on it, but I feel like with the Sarah Jane Adventures, they were on CBBC, like the channel for so many years, like on constant repeat. So I feel like I'm not at that point where I forgot them, but I feel like when it got to like midway through series 3, 4, I think that's when I probably dipped out.
Came back for Joe and 11 though.
Oh yeah, definitely come back for that. I think that's still one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, I think that's got that odd curiosity factor of it's Russell T Davies writing for the 11th Doctor as well.
And it might happen next year again.
Yeah, all the rumours are starting up again.
Yeah, which you can just take with a pinch of salt at this point, really.
Yeah. Oh, hello, Pain Cyberman.
Hello.
Yeah, what have you been up to then, Ben?
What have I been up to? Did a show last week. That was very fun.
Oh, nice.
Trying to get to uni when it's flooded was fun. Because where I've lived's been flooded, so that was a joy trying to get a train up there. But in terms of Doctor Who,
last time we talked, actually, the Annihilator stream, that was the night before the storm really hit, wasn't it?
So we joked about it.
Canceled. Yeah,
we joked about it, and then bam, the whole of England came to a standstill.
Yeah, it really was hit.
Well, yeah, started Locum Doctors again. I listened to Last of the Cybermen about the start of the year in preparation for Secrets to Telos, and then you started with Defectors. Then I was like, oh, I best start it. And yeah, but that's an interesting one to revisit, and it's so weird looking back on it because of how far the Third Doctor stuff has come along with Big Finish.
It's a time capsule of a different time, like just before recast, really, isn't it?
Yeah, really.
Like just on the cusp of it there.
Because I think it was was it 2015?
Yeah, it was.
So was it just before Tim?
Yeah, September.
Yeah.
So that would have been April. And then September, Tim came along. And Tim is at the end of it. So it does feel like a backdoor pilot in a way.
Yeah. I mean, it's an odd one. I don't know if my opinion's changed on it yet, but it's a strange one.
Yeah. Well, I think we've got the chance to go in depth with that soon. So
yeah, well, that'll be probably maybe the stream after the one after this one.
Yeah, maybe we'll see how it goes.
Have to see. Been watching Warriors of the Deep. Always a solid one. Bit of a guilty pleasure.
Yeah, you got your dollies in the mail, didn't you?
Got my dolls in the mail. That's been great. Got old friends in the mail today. So I was like, you know what, we should do our Ninth Doctor
Yeah.
tier list. For those wondering, the spine is Cyberman. So sad times.
I mean, you already had a Cyberman on one of them, so it'd
I
almost
mean,
feel more odd to have Eccleston, Cyberman Eccleston at this point.
I mean, I was expecting the Brigadier just to go, haha, we've cocked the consistency up even more, but yeah, I feel like I'd be more annoyed if Series 1 of Eccleston was the only Eccleston we had. And I'm like, oh, we didn't really utilize Chris on the spine, but we've got another series in May, and I'm sure we'll dive into Eccleston in a matter of minutes, really.
Yeah, we'll probably be getting details of that in a matter of weeks, really.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll cover it on stream when that news drops.
Yeah. Speaking of that spine, though, it does look very nice, actually, the way it's got the circuit board design behind the Mondasian Cyberman there. I think the purple's really striking. Yeah.
There we go, so people can see.
Because I think sometimes it does feel like they've just cropped the main cover and stuck something on there.
It does, yeah.
But that does have a different feel to it. I think, given the nature of the stories with the Cybermen in this one and the Cybermen in Lost Warriors, it does feel almost fitting in a sense that they are two sides of the same coin.
Well, it is sort of like
much. They were a pair, I guess, is the way to put.
Yeah, they do link in some way.
Yeah, but we'll go into that soon.
We shall indeed.
First, shall we dive into the news?
Yeah, we'll do the news, have a quick look in the chat, and then we'll dive into Eccleston, unless you want to do the chat first.
We can have a quick look at the chat.
Let's do the chat. Let's see how people are on this fine Tuesday.
The Sarah Jane Adventures opening episode has the only use of the full theme tune, complete with middle 8 in the end credit. Oh, that's interesting. Stylish one. Yeah, but come to think of it, it does feel like it loops a bit with the later ones. So.
Stylish one. It's a good time to be a fan of Rufus Hound and the Sixth Doctor. It's a good year to be a Colin fan, that's for sure. He's popping up in everything. Charles Edwards, been a rubbish day for me. Super pleased you're streaming. Glad we can provide you some entertainment on this Tuesday. Hello, Amelia. How are you?
Yeah, hopefully tomorrow will be better.
Fingers crossed. I listened to your recommendations and have been listening to the Fourth Doctor Series 8 Volume 2. Wasn't a fan of Volume 1, but I but still adored Time's Assassin. I'm loving Fever Island.
No.
It's a good. I do like Series 8. Big fan of it. Which crossover do you prefer, Wedding of Sarah Jane or Death of the Doctor?
I feel like Death of the Doctor is the one I've gone back to more.
Yeah,
so I'm inclined to say that one, but yeah, I think I'll have to see what happens when I get around to Wedding of Sarah Jane.
I watched Wedding when it was on, I think the Steelbook, the special Steelbook.
Did they put it on there?
No. Yeah, it's the only time they've, I think, put it on Blu-ray, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense actually, because it is a DVD, the original, because it was by Series 4 that it went up to HD.
But yeah, I think Death of the Doctor is probably my favourite Sarah Jane.
You get that on Green Death as well, don't you?
And season 10.
Season 10, yeah.
They've definitely milked that one. So yeah.
But I suppose you're meant to get all the DVD features on the Blu-ray, aren't you?
Yeah.
Meant to be that update plus some extras. Yeah.
I mean, speaking of that, rest in peace, Stuart Bevan. First Clifford Jones, yeah. Sad times.
Yeah, that one certainly came as a bit of a shock.
Yeah, that was when Katie Manning did that tweet. I was like, oh, that's sad. That is, yeah, that was a surprising one.
Yeah. You definitely got to feel sorry for Katie as well, because she's losing so many friends from that period of her life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stylish one asks, "What made you get Caddock Point, Luke?"
Yeah, what made you get it?
I was sort of tempted by it for quite a while. I mean, I was in the mood for some Andy after the end of Stranded 3 as well, so I thought I might as well go for it while it's fresh. So that was part of like a big order as well. So it's like that little extra bit of money slapped on the end, get you 10% off, and then feel better about it.
Yeah, justify your spending a little bit.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Pedro Pascal's character in Game of Thrones, Ben? I really liked him, and he's got one of the most gruesome and saddest deaths in Game of Thrones when he's against the mountain. Because you think, oh, he's won, and then now he gets his skull shattered. That's not the way for him.
Colin Baker on Big Finish. Every month from January to May and July to September is amazing. I'm included the Blake Simmons audiobook. Yeah, it's a 7-hour one as well.
Blimey.
That it'd be. So
Colin's really getting that paycheck.
Truly is even more of me. Yeah. On the subject of Blake 7, so I just want to ask, do you still get Blake 7 audios, Luke? No, not really. I haven't got it since Crossfire Part 3. So that's a good 4 years ago, I think.
I have no idea. I don't pay attention to that stuff. Sorry, Blake 7 fans.
But yeah, I remember being in uni at the time when I got that. So yeah, it was just that. I think the thing with Blake 7 sets as well, or at least what it used to be, it was the same price range as Torchwood, like Aliens Among Us box sets. So you're not getting them for the $19.99 download, 25 quid price. It's like the 25 quid download and then 28 quid CD for pre-order. And so yeah, it was just getting a bit much when there were other box sets where you get the same amount in, but for cheaper.
Yeah. Charles Edwards. Loving the vids with your girlfriend, Ben. Great series so far. Glad you enjoy it. Hopefully we can record some more. Maybe this week. I think she's coming over this week, so we might do something involving this. Who knows? We might do a little cooking video.
Isn't she the one who got you that as well?
Yeah, she got me that for Valentine's. One of the best presents she's got. It's great. Because I've had a weird curiosity about it. Ever since like the season 23 Blu-ray came out. I was like, I'd like to have that thing, and it's a strange book. I'll be honest. It's a strange thing, and I feel like it is wonderfully 80s. You know, you've got these great little drawings of Pertwee's egg salad. Sounds delightful.
I wonder how many of those they stretched to really fit Doctor Who as a theme.
I mean, some of the titles you're like, how's that? You know, you've got Castrovalvian kebabs, Gammon Gallifrey.
Have you got Sea Deviled Eggs?
No. Oh, that needs to be an updated one. You've got Turlo's Rolls. I mean, that sounds a bit personal. Dr. Oo's fillet steak.
Have you got Marsh Minnows at least? Or is it? Would it be a bit too early for that?
No, it is Colin. I mean,
I guess that was very early, Colin.
Lala Ward's recipe is quite something. Like, it's the most bougiest of recipes in this.
I can see why.
You've even got a Roger Delgado recipe in it. I mean, Nabil Shabam's recipe is Syl's slimy slurp frog's legs in seaweed sauce.
No.
I can't say I'd ever try that one. I mean, frog's legs and seaweed sauce.
Feels very Syl, to be fair.
Yeah, I can't see me partaking in that.
It puts me in mind of what Jabba the Hutt eats.
Yeah.
You know, he's...
Fielding's Ocker balls. Kipper of Traken, that's always an interesting one.
Adrix, now I'll never know if I was rice.
Oh, The puns keep coming. We're not even on the tier list.
No.
Oh, blimey.
Got to keep the juices flowing.
All right, shock eye. But yeah, that's a cookbook.
Oh, is there anything shock eye related in there? You think there's got to be?
I'll have a little look, see if there is. I think there's a little illustration of shock eye.
Yeah, if you haven't got anything of him in there, you failed.
I don't know what bit he'd be under.
No. And he's got a wide range of tastes. So,
I mean, Nick Courtney's provided a cocktail if you fancy that.
Ah.
The Briggs Banquet. So if you want to eat like Nicholas Courtney, you can. Nautical Pudding by Ian Martin. Oh. I'm just going to try and find shock eye. Special chocolate chumbly cake. They like it. They like a chumbly in this book.
Yeah. To be fair, they do look like a pudding.
They do. Yeah, they do look like that.
Or can you get the Master's plastic chair as a black pudding?
Why didn't you? You were born at the wrong time. Should have been having these puns.
Oh no, I think it wasn't a black pudding, was it? It was just a. Was it just the pudding he called it? It's Mr. McDermott, isn't it? The guy who gets suffocated. But does he? I can't remember. He lists black pudding.
There we go. Shock eye does have a recipe.
Reveal all.
Shock eye moussaka.
Ooh.
A lean cooked lamb. A medium. It's just a lamb dish by the looks of it. Yeah. So there we go. Shock eye. You might do that. There we go. The old cookbook.
The Kipper of Charkan. Which one says that is one in there, isn't it?
Yeah, that is one, and I think that's on the actual. What is it? The Blu-ray, and that looks the most unappetizing one of the bunch they do. I need that cookbook now. Yeah, it's definitely something.
Where's Tim Shaw's dish tribunal?
I'm surprised they did a cookbook, I think, back in like 2016 or 2017. But I wanted the OG.
Payne Cyberman says, do you think Big Finish will reattempt Absent Friends with a different Doctor and Torchwood member? I feel like that one they're just going to hold off, hope to release it one day, and then.
Even though Barrowman's still in denial about it all.
Yeah. So I think Big Finish themselves still want to get it out there. It is just the BBC holding him back. But yeah, I can understand not working with them again, but hopefully they do just get that out.
I just want Tennant, to be honest.
Yeah, that's it. It's a shame because you think we're not going to be able to get that much of him. Just get what we can of him.
I mean, they did say at I think Gallifrey 1 that he has recorded another thing. I don't know if it's another series or what, but I don't think it's been completed yet. Yeah. And I think Tennant's gonna be one busy boy.
Yeah, just hopefully I can get him in a proper role in the 60th Big Finish. Big Finish is 60th.
That's probably already in the can.
Yeah, I mean, I think they've confirmed they've done all Tom Baker's bits of it, so
that's interesting. We might have Eccleston in some capacity of the 60th.
Yeah, I'd hope so.
Because I think that's the only thing we're going to get Eccleston in the 60th.
Yeah, he wouldn't come back, especially not with Russell and everyone else returning.
I think as soon as they announce Russell coming back, we're like, well, Eccleston's not coming back then.
Yeah, stylish one. To be fair, he was against it for a while anyway. Like he had that comment of when hell freezes over, he'd return to the TV show. Although that was in relation to him coming back as the main Doctor, not as a returning. But yeah, I think I think he's happy with Big Finish.
Yeah, because when I saw him, literally a couple months before he announced he was doing Big Finish, he was like, never bathe in the same water twice. Because the question come up going, would you ever consider, doing it for audio? And he's like, no.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and then obviously change.
Never
say never, but I'm not holding my breath for Eccleston on TV again.
I still feel like I'm at that point now with Series 2 of Eccleston. I'm like, is it a given we're going to get more? Or do you think he's just going to get tired going, well, you've had 2 series?
Yeah, so you don't want to feel ungrateful because we have still got like 12 to go. But at the same time, I suppose it's because with every other Doctor, we're used to having that reassurance of they'll keep going at some point. Like even Tennant, we know when he gets some free time, he'll happily come and do some.
I think it was literally, I think like a year after he left, is like, I assume I'll be doing Big Finish, because I think Briggs has said that Tennant assumed he'd naturally be doing it, because he's like, that's where all the Doctors go after, like the graveyard of Doctor Who.
Yeah. But yeah, then they had to break it to him that they didn't have the license for it for a little while.
Yeah, bless him.
Yeah.
We could have a load of content.
He didn't have to wait too long, though, to be fair. Like, it was 2016, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it's been, 3 years since we last saw him, technically.
Yeah, and only 6 years since he left the show, really.
It'll be interesting to see how quickly Jodie will join.
Yeah. Actually, just thinking about that, it's now been the same amount of time since Tennant joined Big Finish and now as it was between Tennant leaving the show and joining Big Finish.
I feel old, no?
Yeah, like, God, he's been around for a while. I mean, Eccleston's coming up on a year for joining Big Finish.
Blimey.
Yeah. Stylish one, I was about to read this comment and then got sidetracked a bit. Said, hopes for future Torchwood Soho box sets. And yeah. We got
your department.
Yeah, got Torchwood 1 continuing, so hopefully this does the same. I mean, what is it? The first Torchwood Soho Parasite was very much based off Quatermass, the Quatermass Experiment, the first Quatermass serial. And then the second Soho box set, Ashenden, is very much based off of Quatermass 2. So I'm expecting the next box set to go down the line of Quatermass and the Pit, the third Quatermass serial. That is and that's also what I hope for, to be fair. That is probably the best of the Quatermasses, so intrigued to see what they can do with Torchwood Soho there in that sort of environment, because that's very much the story that inspired the Demons and Image of the Fendal.
Stephen Wright, hi guys. I'm not feeling well today. In and out of bed, but currently watching your stream. I love your streams. Thank you very much, and we hope you get better, and hopefully we can make you forget about being ill.
Yeah, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us.
I suppose, shall we dive into the news?
Yeah, let's do a bit of old news, shall we? If I just load the old screen up, because we are very professional here. Yeah. There we go.
Ooh. So while we're on Soho quickly, Stylish just asked what made me get it, because Ben barely listens to Torchwood.
Yes.
Oh no, sorry, that was a reply to Greg. Greg, welcome back, Greg. Asking why there's not a Torchwood list. Yeah, I have been picking up more Torchwood recently. Actually, I did get Caddock Point, but yeah, what made me get Soho was very much that Quatermass influence, having it be 6 half-hour parts. And also, I just do like the Norton Folgate and Andy stuff anyway. But I was a big fan of Ghost Mission, like their first audio, quite a while back. So, a whole box set of that, plus that sort of classic feel of it, made me dive into it because it's something a bit different. And I certainly have not regretted it, and probably will be picking up the Black Knight as well, which Ben is getting because he got it dumped into his account as a replacement for Absent Friends.
Not by choice, but hey, I'll give it a go. It seems like an exciting one. As for the Torchwood list, I mean, I'll happily sit here while Luke does the tier list and go, that looks interesting.
Yeah. But I mean, even then, there's a lot of them I haven't got, so we'd be going a lot of them haven't listened.
Yeah. And I think as well, it's wrong to say that Torchwood doesn't interest us. It's just there are more things that cater for.
We've only got so much
our
money.
Fans. Oh, it's so much money, and the type of fans we are. Like, I'm not a big Torchwood fan, so it's kind of like, I can happily miss it.
It's something nice to dip into when it's something that interests us, like Grey Mare, but yeah, not something we're gonna get no matter what. Whereas I feel like there are some Doctor Who box sets that probably maybe don't interest us, but we still get anyway because it's Doctor Who, and we hope to be proven wrong.
Or you have the reason of going, well, we could get a stream out of it.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, should we go on to the news?
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's fine.
You've
got to get your Torchwood Soho out there.
Yeah.
So our bit of news is the battle for Gallifrey isn't over, as we have Gallifrey War Room as we continue Gallifrey Time War.
And this was announced at the Gallifrey convention, wasn't it? Is it called?
Very fitting.
Is it Gallifrey 1 it's called, or is it just...
Yeah, Gallifrey 1, yeah.
Yeah. And great trailer for it as well.
It was by the person who did that little Dalek mini-series, which is really good.
Oh. Is it Oliver Chinnery?
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Yeah. He also did the Volume 8 cover for Third Doctor Ventures.
I think yeah.
I love the music in it as well, especially for that bit at the ends with the logo reveal, I suppose.
It reminds me a bit of the Dalek Universe reveal when the Dalek explodes and it goes dun.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely got that bit for the Dalek moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, I suppose. Are you excited for this?
For me, it's a pass.
I suppose. Yeah, you still haven't got Time War, the other Gallifrey Time War stuff.
I was very tempted when it was all on sale. But I'm saving my money for other things.
Yeah.
Mainly Dalek shaped.
Yeah.
And I think as well, I've not properly, for all of my sins, I've not dived into actual Gallifrey, and people have nagged me for years. James has been nagging me, going, "You need to," and I've only listened to the first episode of Gallifrey, and I feel like I need to listen to Gallifrey and then go from there. But yeah, I feel like this for me at the minute is an easy pass, which is really nice to say.
Yeah, it does feel like they're stretching out the Time War with Gallifrey a bit.
I mean, I like the idea of it.
Yeah, I'm just hoping it is justifiably different enough from what came before, and that I don't want us to go back to Narvin and Romana for a while. I think this needs to be more of its own thing. Have it be Leela and the General. Build up like new characters, explore new dynamics there.
I think we will get Romana back in like a cliffhanger for one of the box sets. I think we'll definitely see Romana return.
I feel like the way they ended her story in Time War 4 though was pretty final. At least in terms of the Time War. I think they've left room there, but no.
It's a big finish. Right? They can't say goodbye to characters.
No. But to be fair, I was expecting next Gallifrey announcement to be a post-Time War thing.
Yeah, I was expecting like Pocket Universe.
Yeah. Because that's very much where the setup for Romana lies. Whereas this is more exploring the setup for Leela. So I could maybe see them holding off with Romana until after this series. Or have two running alongside each other.
Maybe.
But yeah, so... I mean, probably the most interesting thing about this is Carolyn Pickles as Cardinal Lystra, because she's the previous incarnation who regenerated at the end of Doom Coalition 4.
Yeah, so this is in McGann times, I guess.
It's hard to say, because this was that's before the Time War started. So it was Jacqueline Pierce's incarnation throughout the Time War. She was obviously with the War Doctor John Hurt at the end, and she was with Paul McGann right at the start of it. So you sort of left to wonder how they're gonna. I mean, I'm sure they thought of this.
Yeah, it's probably a reason.
Yeah, it's just wondering what that reason is at the moment. Yeah, and you got what's his name in there as well? Rasmus.
Yeah, Chris Jarman. I do like his Rasmus.
Yeah, I think he's turned up in War Doctor Begins, hasn't he? And 8th Doctor Time War. So yeah, nice to have him around as well.
But
yeah. I think it will maybe come down to what's out at the time as well. How much busier July gets for me. How much else I want, because Big Finish at the moment, they'll announce things like Torchwood Nightmares just 2 months before, when we already thought April was busy enough as it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose. Should we move on to that one now?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's move on to a bit of a segue. Because again, this was a pretty left field announcement, really. I mean, fantastic cover.
Yeah, I do love that cover. Again, Sean Longmore, definitely the GOAT at the moment at Big Finish when it comes to covers. But yeah, also Stylish Ones just pointed out CDs until 2025. People, woohoo! Yeah, with Gallifrey, we've now got War Room 4 out in 2025, I think February. So
has that overtaken the Fourth Doctor?
Yeah, Fourth Doctor's September 2024. That's up to.
Oh, blimey! I'm sure that will soon be rectified. But yeah, this is it the fourth box set in Torchwood 1?
Yeah, it is. It's like you had the first one, then you had the War Machines one, then they did another one called Latter Days, I think it was.
I mean, we should have saw it coming, to be honest, because they did like a Torchwood 1 sale, and they did the same with Philip Hinchcliffe. They did a sale, and then like a week later, like, oh, here's a new one.
Yeah, I mean, are you hoping for more 8th Doctor and Lucy, because that's the sale this week? I feel like that might have been to tie in with Stranded, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love more Sheridan and McGann. I really enjoyed the Lucy Miller set, to be honest. It just got better and better for me, that set did.
Yeah. I also feel like I don't want any more 8th Doctor box sets announced this year. Like, I'd rather, if we do get Lucy Miller, I'd rather she be in the what's it called, the relaunch stuff, rather than us having yet another box announced for this year.
Yeah, because the way the sort of, I mean, we'll talk about Stranded 4 in a minute, but the way the bio sort of sounds is like, is this the end of like Liv, Helen, and Tanya? Are we gonna go into like a whole new section of 8th Doctor, really?
Yeah, we'll have to see. But yeah, Torchwood Nightmares. Certainly the first story seems quite intriguing. You got John Coleshaw as a panel host, and who is it? Yvonne Hartman as a guest on that, and written by Tim Foley, and apparently it is very messed up.
Like, I mean, Tim Foley, really good writer at the minute.
Yeah, like this one, that's certainly what's tempting me towards this set. But yeah, again, busy month, so probably won't be looking. Yeah, and then you've also got Yvonne Hartman waking up next to a dead member of the royal family. There was certainly one person.
Been at it again.
Yeah. I mean, there was certainly one member of the royal family that jumped to my mind when I first read that.
Oh no!
Yeah, we won't get too political on.
Yeah.
Yeah, certainly. It looks like a good set.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I'm curious by it, but again, like you say, April is already looking to be a hectic month. But yeah,
I mean, I'm more excited for this than I am for Doctor of War and First Doctor Adventures, to be honest. but I'm sadly probably going to skip out on this and get those instead.
Well, yeah. Unless you wait a couple of months and then do your little crafty little thing you do to get your 10% off.
Yeah, maybe if it comes down to it, I might get it that way. But I feel like Big Finish are coming out with so much at the moment. I don't need to throw anything extra on to get over 50 quid.
Yeah.
I feel like it's always over 50 quid at this point.
Yeah. It is an occurrence, isn't it, really? Yeah.
Oh, this Torchwood 1 set was actually leaked, said Greg Links. It may have been on the CV of one of the people involved with making it. He says not CV but work thingy. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It was for someone else as well. It was like the actress who was cast as Katerina.
Oh yeah, on Spotlight. Yeah.
It was Triumph of Davros that leaked through that. And I think after the Daleks leaked that way.
And the Martha Jones as well, yeah.
Yeah, so it turns out this one, I'm assuming that's the place you're talking about, Greg Links. Yeah, 8th Doctor stranded now.
Yeah, the curator, but not the one we were expecting. Colin has got another release.
Yeah, Colin's got yet another role to play. He does look good there on that cover, though.
It looks very much like one of his Jagon Lightfoot costumes, to be honest.
Yeah, I think there's a better look at that on the artist's Twitter. I think it's Rafe Wallbank.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see I'll send you that picture, actually, if I can.
Have a little look, but yeah, the last piece of the stranded jigsaw, and it's purple, because we've had yellow, orange, blue, and now purple.
Yeah. Green was considered, apparently. The artist also put a couple of other colours out on their Twitter.
Let's have a little
it's interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, because you've got the Matt Smith shirt, haven't you?
Yeah. I think that's for people who want to recreate it. He made that image.
The cosplayers.
Yeah. And I think action figure designers and such.
Coming to a B&M store.
Makers. Yeah, certainly. I'm more excited for this than I expected to be.
Yeah, because you enjoyed Stranded 3, and I've not gone back to it.
No. Did you ever finish the last story? Or
no,
halfway through.
5th Doctor 40 came out. I was like, right, I'm going to that.
And you were disappointed by that as well.
Yeah, it's not been a solid start for me. But I think pick it up now.
Yeah, the way Stranded 3 leaves off though, so it seems interesting to what it can build to, because it doesn't feel like there's a natural climax to this story. So I feel like it can allow itself to be much more personal, and it feels like the 3rd episode in this is going to be the climax of everything, and then we get the aftermath and the decisions that have to be made in the final story.
So there's no groundbreaking I want to know what happens in the next volume then.
There's certainly something. It's a bit spoiled by I mean, actually, you'd have heard it because you listened to half of it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's sort of it's hard to really get into without spoiling things, I suppose. Yeah, so I think because it's non-linear, you're not necessarily building to a climax in that sense. You feel like you have your climax, and now you're trying to work out a way to get around that with this paradox going on and such. So, but yeah, I'm excited for Stranded to come to an end.
It feels like a long time coming.
Yeah, it does feel like we've been here a while. But I do have fond memories of Stranded 1 and 2, though.
Yeah. I mean, Stranded 1 was just that was a nice change, and then Stranded 2 took a bit of a hit.
Yeah, it's taken us through the pandemic as well.
Yeah, that's really a very different 2020 to what they had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just nice to have this out on time, I suppose. Because after
not pushed back.
Yeah, like it was 9 months between the other two sets, but now only a 4-month wait between 3 and 4.
We finished Eccleston in between the point of, Stranded 2 and 4?
Yeah. It's mad to
Crazy.
think.
And Dalek Universe as well, between 2 and 3.
Yeah, between 2.
Yeah,
it's been a whole year since Stranded 2, because I think that was right at the start of March, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was one of the first releases, yeah. I mean, I'm sure we'll do a stream talking all things Stranded and...
Yeah, all around. I mean, hopefully get James back for that, maybe. I'm not sure if he's dropped off of Stranded a bit, but certainly that was what got him back into Big Finish. What made us do that stream with him.
Yeah, because his goal was to finally complete like a series of Megan, and he's halfway there. He's halfway. Just needs to commit to the other two.
Yeah. Can't he just get the Charlotte Pollard Further Adventuress? Because that's a standalone box set. That counts as a complete series, doesn't it?
I mean, he's doing the 8th Doctor Charlie Marathon, so I think he's got to get that at some point. And I enjoyed that box set.
Did you finish that box set? Yeah, I have now as well.
So it was a nice set. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. What was your favourite story in the end? Is it still
I still think Mommy Speaks.
I think maybe still Eclipse for me.
Okay.
Probably Eclipse at the top, then Slaying of the Thriving Mass. I think that's very season 24, I'd say.
Yeah.
But it works with Megan and Charlie. Yeah, and then then Mummy Speaks, and then Heart of Orion at the bottom. I did enjoy part 1 of Heart of Orion, but part 2 sort of fell off for me.
I mean, it wasn't that. I mean, it was interesting because I listened to Sword of Orion prior to that, and it wasn't the grand return, really.
No. Greg Link says Eclipse was also his fave. There we go. Yeah,
for me, Mommy Speaks was just balls to the wall, let's go to like early Big Finish.
It is a lot of fun. I love the variety the set has. Like no two stories feel the same whatsoever. It's a very good variety of different style of stories. Like you go from that balls to the walls reference stuffed style to something almost more new series with Eclipse, and then you got, like we say, season 24 comic book madness with the Slaying of the Thriving Mass, and then Heart of Orion something a bit more standard affair, I'd say.
Yeah, your run of the mill Doctor Who.
Yeah. So next news article, I suppose.
What is our next news article? Is it the Doctor of First Doctor or Unbound?
Up to you. I mean, Unbound we haven't really got an article for. It's just a cover.
It's just a cover, but let's do First Doctor then.
Yeah. Your favourite's back, Rufus Hound.
Woohoo! I'm thrilled. I'm absolutely buzzing. He's back.
You get him twice a month. I think a Stylish One asked earlier actually about where was it? The Blame Game.
I have it. I've just not listened to it.
There you go.
I think I picked it up in like one of the short trip sales, but not give it a go.
Yeah. So, what do you think of the synopsis then and casting?
The Outlaws intrigues me a lot. I think out of the two, I'm more excited for the Outlaws.
Because that's the bulk of the box set as well, at least.
Yeah, it is the bulk of the box set, and it sort of reminds me a bit of The Doctor's Tale. One of the early adventures sort of has that sort of vibe, and I have a bit of a soft spot for that story, actually. So I'm quite. But then Rufus Hound's in it, you know. So is that going to be crushed? Am I just going to be crushed halfway through when he appears? And like, oh, I was enjoying it when he wasn't in it.
I like the idea of Dodo joining a gang of outlaws. That's it. Why the Doctor's hanging around in the mansion. Yeah. Yeah, I wonder how they're going to make it work with Rufus Hounds in regards to the black hole, because surely that was the Doctor's first meeting with that particular incarnation of the monk. Unless they don't meet, maybe. Unless they're just not bothering to care about that.
They probably must have their own little continuity thing. Because I think when the Paladin box, I think Robert Valentine did like a breakdown of all the stories of Paladin before the box set, so they sort of had like a history of where Paladin's at. So I think we probably would have that with like the monk's character.
Yeah, I think they are like playing a bit more fast and loose with the monk as well. Like, because with the Missy box set, they've established that he doesn't know which way round his incarnations are at this point because he's messed with his own history so much. So, just an interesting concept, just one you don't want to think too hard about.
Yeah.
But yeah, certainly, it's funny to think that he is the closest thing to an original cast member this set has now, because he's been doing the role he's been doing the role for 8 years, I think, or no, 7 since Black Hole, and also he's his own incarnation, so he's original in that sense. He's just not from TV, whereas both Dodo and First Doctor are recasts, and I mean, one of them's a very recent recast, and one of them, this is their debut, so...
Jeez.
Yeah, that's a bit wild. But yeah, we're still not a fan of the cover, are we?
Yeah, the cover still feels like a placeholder. It's one of those ones, if you see it in the shop, you're like, oh, it's not what... Like, if you compare it to, like, the Annihilators cover, where you're like, oh, that looks very exciting. It just doesn't seem to pop. I mean, I like the art style. I'm sure we'll talk about Unbound in a minute, but yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a nice image, but it doesn't fire up your imagination when you look at this. You don't get a taste for what the stories could be.
Which is what you want. You want that sort of selling factor of going, here's a bit of the Outlaws, here's a bit of the miniaturist.
Yeah. But who knows? I'm kind of coming round on the title of the box set, like the overall title being the same as one of the stories, because that does fit with like the Hartnell era in a way, where some story titles would be the same as an individual episode from them.
Yeah.
I mean, An Unearthly Child is the obvious example there. I'm pretty sure there's a couple of others as well. Yeah. But yeah, so I'm not too bothered by that. And I imagine these won't have individual titles because it's after the Savages.
Yeah, it'd just be the Outlaws and the miniaturist.
Yeah. But now, Doctor of War.
Yeah. Again, another April release.
Yeah. Another one to drain our bank accounts.
I've just noticed that actually. Pre-order CD plus download.
Yeah, I think that's fairly recent. I think Stylish One pointed that out earlier in the...
okay.
I suppose that's just to confuse less people who think that they don't get the download if they do.
Yeah, because I've noticed they've had to do like a few like tweets going, you do get the download if you get the CD.
Yeah, like some people do ask that, which is fair. So yeah, I think that's a nice way to clear it up. I bet you're going to get some people emailing and saying, I just want the download by it. I just want the CD by itself. I don't want the download.
There's probably people out there. And if you want that, then don't buy it from Big Finish. But, support Big Finish.
Yeah, so what did you think when this cover was revealed?
I was sort of surprised because, the Kralls are in it. And I didn't expect Tom to be on the cover. I don't know if that's to help him go, Tom's in it, so buy it, because we might get like an alternate regeneration, maybe.
I imagine he is on the cast as well now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's definitely is going to pick up with that moment. I wonder if you're going to have Sadie Miller and Christopher Naylor in there, because they're there for that scene where he makes that decision. So,
yeah, so maybe it's going to be like a little through line throughout the box that we get like little pieces of that moment. Or it's just going to be like the start, like the pre-title sequence for the box set, maybe.
Could it be like The Innocent, do you think? Where we kept getting flashes of that battle, do you think?
Yeah, that's what I sort of feel like it could be.
Yeah, because certainly
nice.
the description for the first story doesn't read post-regeneration story.
You have the Uncrispy Master as well.
Yeah, the cover's just not really doing much for me. It just feels very bland in its layout. That Dalek feels very awkward, and I'm really going off this style of covers, to be honest. I think they're overdoing it, and they just feel worse every time a new one comes out.
Savagely. Yeah. I mean, I don't mind it. I still like the art style, and I don't think it's the worst offender of that style of cover. I still think that's the Outlaws.
Yeah. But I'm not even sure if that counts as this style of cover, because it's the same artist. And you can see that same impression on it, but like it doesn't have the lines going down, for one thing. And yet, just get Tom Webster to do more, please. The poor man. He doesn't deserve to get the boot.
Or
just get Sean Longmore doing more of them, because he's doing great.
Yeah, he's doing an amazing job. Yeah, that's for news.
Yeah.
I guess it's time to do a bit of Ninth Doctor, I guess.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah, let's get on to the main excitement of this stream.
How long have we been going now?
Nearly an hour.
Oof.
Yeah, fly me.
Yeah, sorry for those of you who came on expecting a tier list and left waiting a while.
But yeah, I'll load your tier list. So, do you want to do your classic intro? Because this is your little pride and joy.
Yeah, here we go. So, going from bottom to top here, we have as the bottoms here. Why don't you just die? Because what else could it be? That's what the audios really hate. I don't know if any of them will end up there. We'll see. And then we got Run, basically just, an audio to keep away from, run away from it. Don't let it anywhere near you. After that, that's not supposed to happen. For an audio where things just keep going wrong, I guess.
Okay.
And then Eccles Cake Worthy, bit of a reference to our pricey hot chocolate worthy and a couple of jelly baby worthy. It's sort of our thing for these tier lists, isn't it? To get stuff like that once in a while. So Eccles Cake it is, because Eccleston. It's a lazy pun, but we're here for it. And then Amazing for stories we think are amazing. But this one leads into the next one, a line from the Ravagers story. I think it's Food Fight this one's in, where he says, "That's not just amazing, it's fantastic." Obviously, the iconic line from the trailer where we get back. You feel like that could be the first time he's ever said it?
Yeah, because Ravagers definitely builds up to that moment of like, when's he gonna say it?
Yeah, that definitely feels like the build up to it. So yeah, it's nice to have that as the top, I think.
So before we dive into the tier list, I know we've talked about it before like an hour, but what were your sort of opinions of Eccleston coming back? Because I think it was one of those big monumental moments for us all, really.
Yeah. I remember I was sat at the pub at the time with a friend. This poor guy probably wasn't getting much of my attention because I was just like scrolling through the articles so many times, just taking it all in and trying to get any little crumb of info that I could out of it. So yeah, I just wasn't able to think about anything else really other than, gosh, Eccleston's back. Like that's not something we were expecting, because I think we had it teased a little bit before that there was news coming. And I think also someone had found like Christopher Eccleston as a contributor on Big Finish. Like you got that page where you could look at an actor or director or something, all their work for Big Finish. And someone found a page for Eccleston. And they were saying, "Oh, that's just something we made."
Like an Easter egg, wasn't it? Or something like that.
It's an Easter egg or like a trial one, wasn't it? But no, there was a bit more to it than that. But still, even then, I think having that official confirmation, it was still mind-blowing and definitely not what we were expecting, especially when it came to like when we got David Tennant back, we were thinking, oh, which Doctor's going to be next? We were imagining probably like Matt Smith had come along. Then we thought, Peter will probably come along pretty quickly after, and he's still not here yet. But no, Eccleston did come back, and it was fantastic. How about you? What was your? I mean, you've done a whole video for it, haven't you?
Yeah, I did a whole video. It's interesting to probably look back on it now, and obviously with the hindsight of this series, it's very different to what we probably imagined. I think we all hope for Billy, and I think we still do hope to get Billy and Eccleston to do a box set, if not a book, a whole series. That would be amazing. But it still feels strange looking at it now that we have Christopher Eccleston's name on a cover, and I don't think that's ever sunk in, and I don't want to take it for granted.
Yeah, especially this many of them, because like when David Tennant came back, it was just the one box set he had time to record. Whereas here we've got him for 8 box sets in a row, at least.
Yeah, and once we finish the first story of the first box set series 2, he'd have done the same amount of stories as on TV, really.
Yeah.
By the time we finish the first box set, he would have done more on audio than screen.
I mean, in a way, he already has, because a lot of these episodes are like coming close to an hour long, whereas all of series 1 is 45 minutes on the dot, isn't it? Not less.
I mean, Sphere of Freedom, that's definitely on brand with the time limit, but yeah.
Yeah, they've got longer as they've gone along. I know the 4th generation, the finale, that's an hour and I think 8 minutes. So
yeah,
they've certainly shot up a bit. I mean, that entire 2-part finale is only 15 minutes shorter than the 3-part opener. It's just a little crazy fact for you.
Yeah, it's just bizarre thinking, we could only have dreamt of it back in like 2015 when they got the new series license that we'd have Eccleston. So, to tell your 7-year-old self that, don't worry, that silly Northern bloke's going to come back. Yeah, it's great. And yeah, I don't know if there are rose-tinted glasses with certain stories. I don't know whether... I think Ravagers is one of those ones, I think.
Yeah, I feel like Ravagers maybe has that going for it, like it is the first one. But I also feel like it's fitting to start off with that blockbuster opener.
Yeah, I think that's why I admire Ravagers, because I think there's a tendency, like if you look at Technophobia, to play it safe when a new Doctor comes along. But to go, we're going to do this non-linear, very sort of timey-wimey story going all over the place. It really says that this is audio, this is what we can do. And I really admire the balls of Nick Briggs to go, this is what we're going to do to kickstart the 9th Doctor. Because I think, was Respond to All Calls originally going to be the first set?
No, I think it always was going to be Ravagers. But there was a point where Respond to All Calls might have been the first one to be recorded.
Okay, that's where I'm going to get mixed up.
Nick was taking a while to write this.
Busy with Jekyll and Hyde.
But it was always going to be the first set. Yeah.
I guess, should we dive into Ravagers then?
Yeah, let's go for it. Spear of Freedom. Because, I mean, it is one long story, but I think each episode has just about enough of its own identity to be ranked individually. And plus, we've only got 12 here, so we've got to make the most of them as a tier list.
Yeah, because it's just that it is one big story, so like it might all blur into one, maybe, because it's nearly been a year since I've listened to it, and I've been tempted to revisit it just to see how far we've come, really, because I think Old Friends is a box that we were like, wow, this is something special.
Yeah, it's definitely my favorite at the moment, but yeah, we'll get onto that soon. But yeah, Spear of Freedom, I think, was a brilliant start. Just the energy of that first episode, everything felt so perfect. It was point A to point B, no time wasted whatsoever. Eccleston's really, comes to this running, doesn't he? Hits the ground running with it.
There's just so much life and energy within Eccleston. And I think you have a preconception of the Ninth Doctor in your head of always this sort of angsty, battle-scarred Doctor, and Rose is the person who healed him. So I think now I know what they're doing with the Ninth Doctor. I feel like I have a better understanding, and I feel like these set of stories do feel like a what if Eccleston had a series 2. The Cybermen were the big bad of series 2 of Doctor Who. Here we have Eccleston with the big bad of series 2 Cybermen. So it feels like we've got a healed Doctor. There's still moments where you get that sort of scarring from the Time War.
It's very much him covering it up at this point, isn't it? He's not being emotionally vulnerable. He's got all that pain there, but he's not going to be moping around all the time. I mean, when you look at Rose as an episode, he is very much putting on a brave face and trying to have fun. And I think the pitch for this whole series was he's looking for hope in the universe again, isn't he?
Yeah.
And yeah, these box sets are about him finding that. And so I like Eccleston himself wanted a bit more of an upbeat Doctor, didn't he? Because most of the characters he plays, he is doing these very soporific dramas. So he wants to have fun, and I think the Doctor is the perfect character to have that fun with. He does, yeah. And I think something like the Time War, even through series 1 and 2, you could tell that he never quite fully heals from it. It's not something you can necessarily heal from, just grow around.
Behold, the carbon...
Yeah, sorry.
A bit of an ad there.
Yeah, a bit of an ad. Yeah, I think Sphere of Freedom's, probably my favourite of Ravagers.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think you just go into it with such energy. It's very quick, 42 minutes. I think it was the perfect way to start Ninth Doctor off again, really.
You've got the great bit of the military going, "Oh, don't you soldiers speak Latin?" when the Romans appear.
Oh, yeah, that's brilliant.
There's great sass in there.
Yeah, I love all that stuff in 50s London with the Romans. I think I like how you've got it's Westminster Bridge in series 1, isn't it? But is it Waterloo Bridge they go to in this one?
Oh no, you got the Battle of Waterloo in there. Is it Piccadilly Circus, isn't it?
Yeah, but there's a bridge that the TARDIS is parked on.
Oh yeah, it is Waterloo. Yeah.
They sort of like mirror series 1 with that, don't they?
And then you go to the Battle of Waterloo very fleetingly.
Yeah, I think that's in Food Fight, isn't it, or Cataclysm?
I think Cataclysm.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, Spear of Freedom, I'd say amazing.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I've got to say the cliffhanger, very good.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing Ravagers has. It has some like top tier. Like I want to know what happens next.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that's good about starting off with that. You do get those cliffhangers again, don't you?
And I think with Ravagers, it was hard to focus on the story because you're like, that's Christopher Eccleston. So yeah,
it's good to have a story that's stretched out over 3 episodes.
Yeah. But yeah, Cataclysm. This is more exploring the companion of the box set Nova and explaining sort of the actual Sphere of Freedom, that it's sort of this virtual gaming and all that sort of stuff. And, there's nice little nods about, everyone likes the classics,
Yeah, you get all your references in this, don't you? You get the scenes with the drones that are like trying to drain intelligence.
Yeah.
Quite a frightening concept. But I'd say this is still a very strong one. I'd say it's either amazing or Eccles cake worthy.
I'd still stick with amazing.
Yeah.
I still think it's pretty good.
I think it's certainly a bit of a drop from Sphere of Freedom, but not anything huge.
It's still got the momentum of Sphere of Freedom, really.
Yeah, I think this box set definitely keeps the momentum up right to the end. It's only at the end that I feel, just because of the nature of this kind of timey-wimey story, you feel a bit unsatisfied by the resolution, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the moments at the end with the Doctor and the TARDIS. I think that's wonderful stuff, and very much Christopher Eccleston on top form. But yeah, overall, is either amazing or Eccles Cake worthy still? Food fight.
Haha, you're a nerd.
Oh.
I'd say
I was tempted to have that be a tier name, but I couldn't work out where to put it in.
I think the Ravagers, I would have liked to have seen them explored more. They fit series 1 with like the Gelf idea, in a way. I liked them, but I would have liked to have seen them a little bit more developed within the story.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think for the title villain, they don't really do much.
Yeah, they're just there.
Yeah.
I mean, it builds up to it, like Cataclysm, you start to build up, and then Food Fight, it's just like, what do we do with them?
I mean, yes, that nice scene when I actually talk to one of them. And you get that whole, I'll bring you the sweetness. I think that's quite good. But yeah, overall, it's just good, but not great. I think you don't end the box set on a downer. You don't feel unsatisfied by Ravagers as a whole. And I think, had it been the only thing we got, I think there would be that sense of disappointment. But knowing that this is just the start, this is just opening the door to more adventures with the Ninth Doctor, I think it works perfectly, really.
Yeah, I don't think it's the weakest box set of the 4.
No, I wouldn't say so.
I think that Ravagers is sort of a must buy. It's not the best the Ninth Doctor has to offer, but I think that it's a slice of history. And I think that it's worth just checking out for that reason. But it's Eccleston back in the role in this epic story, really.
Yeah, and it's something different from Series 1, isn't it? But still feels true to the Ninth Doctor.
Yeah, absolutely.
I definitely will always admire Big Finish for not going down the obvious route with the Ninth Doctor, giving us their own spin on him, and something that Christopher Eccleston is very much behind.
Yeah, because one thing about this is that it does feel like they've catered for Eccleston's sort of love, like Fright Motif, his love of music and his love of Shakespeare in the third box set. I feel like they're and the sort of themes of grief and love, are quite things were quite deep to him. With like, if you read his autobiographies, those are sort of things what bind him really.
Yeah, it's only by really the fourth box set you get more stuff that's catering to Doctor Who fans, I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, Planet of the End as well, I'd say, has a bit of that, but... Yeah, so Girl Deconstructed next. We are back with a more standard style of box set for the second one, Responsible Calls, where we go present-ish. I mean, it's 2004, so quite a while in the past for us now, but it is sort of like the present for Doctor Who at this time, the time they're emulating. It's pre-Series 1, so it makes sense to take it back a year and have it be 2004. Presumably that's when the finale set as well. They never explicitly say. They just say like late 20th, early 21st century. But yeah, it certainly is. Scotland, our first visit to Scotland this series. But not our last by a long shot.
Yeah.
And it's very much a quite simple tale, really, isn't it? About finding a daughter.
I would say that out of all the Eccleston stories so far, this is the most akin to Series 1. It's your kitchen sink drama. It's very domesticated. And for me, it just fits Russell's vision of Series 1.
I think it very much feels like an annual story.
Yeah, it definitely feels like it's the Sally Sparrow one.
Yeah, What I Did in My Summer Holiday.
Yeah, it has that And I like that Lisa McMullen used one of her childhood fears, because I think that's where your imagination lies. Is, you know, a kid that if your parents say something and you'll disappear and you'll never return. Like, that's such a haunting idea.
It's a very Moffat thing, isn't it? Like,
Yeah,
exploring childhood fears in that sense. I think this does that beautifully, but in a less horrific way, I guess. It's not necessarily about the horror of that. It is more about the family drama that creates.
it sort of feels like Fear Her in a way.
Yeah, it does have that quality.
Which is a wrong way to compare it, because these are polar opposites in terms of scale.
Yeah.
There's some nice bits of comedy with two Ecclestons. That's all I'll say. But it's a nice little fun.
Yeah.
Fun
There's no
little thing.
villain either. It is just an accident, really, and then them trying to sort that out. And I think some wonderful characters throughout, really, and a nice ending scene, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's quite touching. And a Stranded reference. Yeah, I'd say this one's amazing. What about you? Are you going for fantastic?
It's my favorite.
Go on then, put it in fantastic.
It's still my favorite. It's a good one. I think that it's an absolute class one.
Now, Fright Motif. We're back in the past.
This is, I would say, Eccleston's Whispers of Terror. It really utilizes the audio medium.
Yeah, that's very true. I love the almost Stranger Things visuals with the monster hunting them, like the corridor scene.
Because it's set post-war Paris, isn't it? The story.
Yeah. And you get a wonderful little group of characters, really. I think it's like, is it 4 of? Yeah, it's 4 of them. Well, yeah, you got Maurice,
Gemma Whelan's character,
and Damien Lynch's character. I can't remember the characters' names, but
I want to say Archie. I don't know why that just.
Yeah, that rings a bell. I'm gonna have a look now on the cast list to see.
But yeah, I like the idea of it, that there's this sort of creature that hunts by sound.
I love those creatures that are more like very alien, even in concept of like physicality. Like, you can't picture this because it physically cannot be pictured. It's not a three-dimensional thing. It's something different altogether.
And I think if you have it on vinyl, it's a story what lends itself, because there's a moment within the story where a vinyl player is used to fought the monster a little bit. So I think that it's a nice one to have on vinyl. I think it almost feels like it's wrong to compare it to this, but I feel like it has a similar aspect to it, like Vincent and the Doctor in a way.
Yeah, it does have a bit of that in there, I'd say, but less. I suppose because it's not a historical figure and it's not the focus of the story.
But it's rich in that theme, really.
Yeah, it's certainly on. Artie Berger is the name of the character. And then, where is Gemma Whelan on this cast? And Zazie is Gemma Whelan's character. There we go. Yeah, they're a nice trio there. And I think my favourite scene is the pillow fort scene.
Yeah.
Where they're cushioning out the sound under there. I think it's nice how the monster is very much tied into, again, grief here.
Yeah.
And yeah, the characters as well. The character drama very much feeds into the threat of the story, which is nice. So, I mean, this is probably my favourite of Responsible Calls.
I'd say it's amazing.
Yeah, I'd go fantastic for this one.
Okay, we'll put it there. I'll put it there. This is a good one.
Yeah. And now Planet of the Ends, which I think I wasn't looking forward to as much, but was pleasantly surprised by. Had a good time with this one.
It's a good one. I really enjoyed this one, actually.
Yeah.
I think it's a solid box set of Responsible Calls, really.
Yeah, I'd say it's the second best, I'd say.
I feel like I need to give old friends another listen, to be sure. But
yeah, it's all like that recency thing as well, isn't it?
yeah,
You don't know if you're being fair or if you're just caught up in the hype. Yeah.
But yeah, it's an interesting one because I think we spoke about it privately that Eccleston referencing classic stuff because it happens in Way of the Buryman with like Eccleston referencing like crinoids. You get Sontarans in this, and it doesn't feel out of place for the sake of it going, here's a reference. It feels a naturally placed within the story.
Yeah, you get such a kick out of it. And I think it's nice that they waited this long to do it. They didn't throw it in straight away with Ravagers. They sort of take their time to build up to it here and plan it at the end. And it's such an out there story as well. Very much different to anything we would have got on TV and could have gotten on TV, to be fair. I think, some wonderful visuals in this. I think certainly the planet they paint in your mind feels like a very beautiful one.
Because a lot of people say that this is like the Ninth Doctor's sort of heaven sent in a way.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, certainly it's got a bit of a bigger cast, but I think I can only really think of 4 characters.
I'm just trying to remember the little robot's name.
What was...
I'm just trying to load the cast list up.
Fred,
there we go.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
We finally got a Fred. I love Fred.
Yeah, and that is sort of another classic reference, really, isn't it?
Yeah, with Romana.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this one.
Yeah, and again, very character-driven there with Fred as well. I think that was quite beautiful, really, wasn't it? That story they told there.
Yeah, it's a sweet one.
Yeah. And then just the visual you get on the cover there of this alien bureaucrat, this businessman who's sort of like, I can't remember what they deal in, but yeah, it's instead of conquest, it is business for them. They are one of the most dangerous races out there.
It's one of those ones where I looked at the cover like that. I just don't know how to feel about the story, but when I listened to it, I had a completely different view of the story for what the cover told, really.
Yeah, it's very different from anything else you're going to get. I'd say amazing.
I'd agree with that. I'd agree. Yeah. Lost Warriors now, the penultimate box set with hunting season.
Yeah, probably the weakest overall, I'd say.
I'd agree with that. I'd agree. I think that is the weakest of the Eccleston box set. Still some good stuff within it, but yeah.
And also, hunting season is the one that really drags it down for me. This is probably definitely my least favorite of the 12 stories.
Again, I'll agree with that.
It feels like it has something at first. It's got an interesting, like, potential eat the rich point of view of it. But then it goes down this very different route, and it sort of throws in a twist at the end for the sake of it. And then the story just ends like, oh, that was it.
Yeah, it's a story what you think works for Eccleston, that he's going to be with the working class, this sort of upstairs, downstairs, Downton Abbey sort of type of story, really. And
it goes full on with that in the first half as well. Like, it's very rich with that subtext, but then it never plays into the plot at all. Really, it doesn't do anything by the end of it.
And like the Fleshkin never really come to anything great. Like, I love the name, but there's not much to it, really.
Pain Cyberman says, I'm the only one that adores the hunting season. It's like a Chimera story, but like better. I mean, yeah, I could certainly see the Chimera comparison, but not the better part for me.
Oh, you're a savage tonight.
I'd say it's either that's not supposed to happen, or Run feels a bit too harsh, because I still feel like it had some strong stuff in the first half, some great performances, but yeah.
I feel like it's definitely a middling one.
Yeah, I think because it's the worst of the Eccleston so far, but it's not bad or anything. It's just there.
Yeah.
So I'd say that's not supposed to happen as a fair place for it.
I think as well, it just my perception of it's not probably good because I had to keep rewinding it because I kept falling asleep when listening to it. So that's probably tainted a little bit of my judgment on it.
Pain Cyberman says, I completely respect your opinion, even if it's incorrect. Fair enough, Pain Cyberman.
We're full of hot takes here. It's fine.
Yeah.
We respect all opinions here.
Yeah, speaking of hot takes, here's one that hasn't gone down too well, The Cursed Lady Macbeth. But it's my favourite of Lost Warriors, actually.
That's where we differ.
I think. Yeah. But do you still like it, though?
I do enjoy it. I don't think it's bad by any means. I think the ending did lose me a little bit. I enjoyed it because it felt very TV Eccleston the way it was introduced to the actual story.
Yeah, showing up on top of the hill.
Yeah, and he's the blue man. I think that there's a beautiful story there within it. I enjoy it with the sort of Lovecraftian creature.
Yeah, I like how that creature is very much out of the way, really, isn't it? It's not a physical part of the story. You don't have it tearing through a castle or anything. It's much more of this physical menace and this poison seeping through. I love. There's some great lines in there as well. Again, we're back in Scotland, and so you get the Doctor being called a Southerner, and Eccleston's response is, "Oh, that wounds me." Yes, great characters in this. I mean, Macbeth himself, played by Anthony Howell, I'm pretty sure.
That rings a bell.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. I'm just gonna double check that before I commit.
I mean, he's not in the story that much, to be honest. But he does steal the scenes he's in.
Yeah, he comes in about halfway through, but he has such a presence to the character. And I think it's good that because it is very much Lady Macbeth's story, she's in the title, played by Neve McIntosh. And so it's nice that she gets that time to herself before he comes along, because I think he may have overshadowed her if he was in the whole thing. He is very good. And there's a great scene between him and the Doctor where the Doctor's talking about how, he respects him in the sense that this is the time he's from. He has to be this killer on the battlefield because there's almost no alternative, really. He's not a murderer in that sense. He's just a warrior. And again, very much tying into the themes of this box set. Yeah, that's a beautiful scene. And you have some nice moments with the child in there as well, Lady Macbeth's child.
Who I don't think is played by an actual actor. I think it's just little sound bites, isn't it?
Yeah, they're mute, but
yeah, but you feel like they're an actual presence within the story, despite being mute. Really,
I think there is a female act. Yeah, I think Lucy Goldie. Looking at the cast, is it Lulak? Lulak, who is the child?
I think so.
Yeah, because she's
she
also
one of
playing
the three at the start.
She's one of those three,
Yeah.
but she's listed as like two characters, this is Kirsten and Luak.
Okay.
So I think she was doing like both, just doing little noises and then also getting a proper speaking role.
Okay.
Which is a good way to use the same actor twice, really.
That's a good way of doing it.
Yeah, so that was quite a nice character as well. Even though they're mute in an audio, you still get a good sense of them. So I'd say it's very well written, very beautiful story.
There's quite a creepy moment when, is it like the babies are creatures taken or something like that, and they're all in the lower half of the castle.
Yeah, there's a lot of creepy medieval imagery in this. It's very much. It's quite fantastical story, isn't it? There's nothing hard sci-fi nailing it down.
Yeah.
It's still got that sci-fi quality to it. It's still all being explained, but there's nothing. It still has that ethereal, like you said earlier, Lovecraftian feel to it. It doesn't do a what's Stones of Blood always the go-to, isn't it? It doesn't do that. So for me, this one's amazing.
Oh, I was going to say sort of Eccleston worthy.
But
I'll leave amazing because I'll I'll honour you.
Thank you.
I'll let you have it.
But now, Monsters in Metropolis.
This is an interesting one now because we have the knowledge that we have a Cyberman 2-parter. We thought that this is going to be our little dip at the toe with Eccleston and the Cybermen. So it'll be interesting to revisit this one to see whether it holds up compared to the other two. Obviously, it sort of hints to this 2-parter in the story, but I really enjoyed this story. I especially enjoy the ending. I think the ending's got such a powerful weight behind it, and especially with current world circumstances as well. Yeah. It has a whole new power behind it, really.
Yeah, I think it certainly has got quite a long epilogue, isn't it? It's about 10 minutes after the conclusion of the story where we're just catching up with the characters, really. And it is some quite heartfelt moments there, and more than one. And like you say, it does hit quite hard. Yeah, for me, I think this one might improve on re-listen, going into it knowing that this isn't the only taste of Cyberman we get, because it's not necessarily a Cyberman story in a sense. Like, yeah, there's a Cyberman in it, but yeah, they're not necessarily the main focus on it, so to speak. I think certainly the Lost Warrior of the title, you're meant to think is a Cyberman, but actually it's a different character altogether. But yeah, and I mean, it's perfect imagery, isn't it? Having a Cyberman on the set of Metropolis as the...
Yeah, I mean, I love the design.
Yeah, it's a shame we didn't get to see that on the later covers, really.
I was hoping that we'd see sort of like a bronzy, rusty version on like the 4th generation cover.
That would have fit.
I mean, that's how I pictured those Cybermen in the story, but yeah.
Yeah, very much. I think it was meant to be this design as well in that story, because they do. I think the 9th Doctor does say about that's more familiar or something. I think it might be the Brigadier actually says those are more like the Cybermen I recognise, but yeah, we'll get
onto that.
Yeah, I think it's got a lot of good subtext in there as well. So yeah, I'll leave this one up to you. Where do you want to put it?
I'd say it's amazing.
Yeah, I'd agree with amazing.
I think it feels like Dalek and the Silver Turk mixed, really.
I mean, we get even more Silver Turk.
Yeah,
soon, but
it's all very good. Yeah, very good story. I did enjoy that one by John Dorney. And yeah, really, really nice one.
Yeah. So, fond farewell now. We're into the final box set.
I feel like you've enjoyed this one more than me, because I feel like everyone just wants to go straight to that 2-parter.
Yeah, and I think, to be fair, I did go into this story thinking, let's just get it out of the way and get on with the 2-parter. But I was pleasantly surprised by it. I think there's a lot of good themes there. I think it's probably most similar to something like Father's Day. And I mean, it sort of goes back to that saying, if we only see each other at weddings and funerals, we have Father's Day as a wedding, and then this story is about a funeral, really. I think the characters in this are all very good, especially, what's the guy's name? The one whose funeral it is.
The archaeologist. Is it Professor or the archaeologist? I'm trying to remember.
Where's naturalist Flynn Beckett. So he's like saving all the endangered species and such. He's a wonderful character, and I think it asks an interesting question about, who are funerals really for? Is it to celebrate the life of the deceased, or is it to bring some closure to those who are still living? And when you have this chance to bring them back, but you could alter their memories, would you do that? Would you make it be the ideal version and the version you remember, or would you want it to be the real person? I think it certainly asks some hard questions in this story, and ones that there aren't necessarily answers to.
It sort of feels like Lost Resort in a way, getting that chance to say your piece in a way. But would you hold that information back? It's because it's cleverly done, that sort of mystery. It has sort of you said Father's Day, but I feel like it has sort of an end of the world quality to it as well.
Yeah, it's definitely got that in there too. And I think I love the monsters in this. I suppose is what they are.
They have a catchphrase, don't they?
Yeah, it's very Russell in that sense that it gives them that catchphrase, and then that catchphrase ends up being more and more relevant. And certainly, it's a good mystery. It keeps you guessing.
Yeah, I think that it's a rich story, and I think sadly it is one of those ones that does get overshadowed, because I think if it was placed in another box set, it would be one of the kings of that box set.
Yeah, so it's the weakest of this box set, but that's not saying much because it's such a strong box set.
Yeah.
So it's still.
I like the little flashbacks you get with the the naturalist character, of how they sort of met and intertwined, and why he's at the funeral of it.
That was quite a moving scene as well, when he breaks it to him that he's dying of that disease. Yeah, and I think it's nice to see that Eccleston, or the Ninth Doctor, did come back to see this funeral through. And then,
it inspires him to see the prig.
Yeah, I think you see a much more vulnerable Ninth Doctor in this set, really, where he is thinking about mortality and such, and thinking about his old friends.
Yeah. And even the ending as well. You get that sort of loneliness of the Doctor.
Yeah. So, fond farewell. I'd say it's amazing.
I'd agree with that. I'd agree.
We got a lot in that category at the moment.
Yeah, it seems to be like the main staple of it, but is it going to change with this two-parter?
Yeah. I think that is the thing with this series for a while. We were feeling it was really good, but it's not breaking into greatness just yet.
Yeah, you're waiting for that story to go, that's it. That's what I've been waiting for.
And I would say Way of Debarment and the Fourth Generation was that.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
It feels like everything comes nicely full circle with Series 1, and we get what we've been waiting for, really. An action-packed finale, but also one with a lot of emotion in there as well. So, Way of Debarment itself, up in Scotland, up near the Firth of Forth. I think I can't remember quite what the town's called.
Is it Queensway?
Queensway, yeah, that's it. It's the Queensway Ferry and such. And it feels like a mixed match of a lot of things as well. Like, you've got some battlefield almost elements in it.
Yeah.
With the military base and such, the female commander there. You even almost have a mirroring to the scene where the Brigadier and Seventh Doctor meet in Battlefield, where the Brigadier comes along to save the Doctor, whereas here, the Doctor comes along to save the Brigadier. I think that's quite a nice little bit of poetry there, I suppose. Yeah, such wonderful scenes with them meeting as well. It's great that this got to be a two-parter, because it allows for those slower moments, particularly between the Brig and Doctor, where they just get to have a nice chat, and he sort of points out how, he's come looking for him. He's not just run into him this time. And so he senses that something's off with the Doctor, that something's happened here. And
you do get those quieter moments between them, because, like you say, the Brig does sense that this is a very different Doctor to what he's used to, because there's a joke about buzz cuts, that he's make a soldier out of you yet, and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that's very good. And also you get young Sam Bishop in here as well. I mean, what did you make of him being in there from the Unit series? Because you're now more of a Unit boy than me.
I mean, I have the box sets. Doesn't mean I've listened to them. That's a different matter. But I liked how it was introduced, because Scotland's scattered full of police boxes. He's like, oh, can I have some coffees, please? And it's like, oh, no, this is transdimensionalism, not a coffee place.
900 years in time and space, and I've never been asked to whip up a latte.
I like the way that he was introduced, and how by the end of it you can see why he become integrated with the world of Unit.
Yeah, I like how he's very much at odds with the Doctor throughout it, and you've got his girlfriend there, and they're getting along well. That is very series 1 with like Mickey, Rose, and the Doctor.
I mean, I enjoyed the girlfriend character. I think she gets a lot to do.
Yeah, she's a brilliant character.
She's a great way of relaying sort of the exposition of Queensway and the history of the Buryman and the Fourth Bridge, that she wants to, pay tribute to the people who lost their lives building this bridge. And I think Roy Gill was very conscious, because I was listening to an interview he did with Kenny Smith, which is worth checking out. I think the Power of Three podcast, where he talks about the inspiration for this two-parter and how he wanted to keep it in that time frame about the memorial being after, and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I think that's quite a sensitive topic, really, but it's handled very well in this. And yet, going back, Sam himself, I feel like this is the first time I've really got Sam Bishop. This is where he's clicked with me as a character. Because before this, he was just sort of
hard man.
He was always being pushed in unit, but I never really got why. Whereas here now, I think I really enjoy him alongside Eccleston as well. Those Warren Brown and Christopher Eccleston do make a great double act in this for parts of it. And yeah, you got a nice like quartet again here, haven't you, with the Brig, Sam, Fiona, and the Doctor.
And I like the build-up of the story, how you have like these ghosts, and like the idea of the Buryman, that Roy Gill was very conscious of. I didn't want the Buryman to be an alien. There's a reason why there's this tradition, and nobody still knows why the Buryman is going around. But I think the way Roy Gill integrates the Buryman into the story is very clever, and I enjoyed that. I mean, the thing with this story prior to the reveal of the Cyberman, you thought, the Buryman's going to be the monster, and you think, it's going to be Grey Man of the Mountain version 2.
Yeah, going into folklore and stuff. And that does very much play a part, but in a very different way. And I suppose it's like that's more of the good guy than the bad guy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's interesting how that plays a part in this. And again, it feels very Ninth Doctor in the sense that you feel like you're coming to a conclusion. He's about to save the day, then suddenly it's all gone wrong, and he's actually unleashed a menace at the end of Way of the Buryman.
I think as well, the way Creel is revealed. You can just imagine sort of like this sort of sea mist rolling in, and this sort of the way they use the cyber lamps as well.
There's a brilliant scene in the Fourth Generation on the seabed that is so visceral. You can really picture that with the dust kicking up on the seabed, but you've got these lamps on the Cyberman's heads as they approach, and you can sort of just imagine those silhouettes striding on the ocean floor, similar to the moon base in the way they walk on the lunar surface.
I was thinking Scourge of the Cybermen as well before they go into
that's
the base when they're attacking the little submarine and they're just banging on there.
Yeah, I think that's a brilliant sequence there. But yeah, certainly this is very much what I wanted from a Ninth Doctor Cyberman story, and it gives me everything I want and more. You've got the Brigadier in there. You've got all this amazing stuff with the folklore going on. You've got this brilliant setting. It is very much set around the Fourth, really, isn't it? And the Fourth Bridge is at the heart of the story in more ways than one.
Yeah.
And there's that wonderful scene as well where they're attacking the train on the bridge. The excitement I felt while listening to this is something I've not felt in a while.
Yeah, it was just that trailer as well, what just pumps you for it, and it just makes you go straight for it, really. And I think, I don't know about you, but when I was listening to this, I was like, I really don't want this to end. I was just having such a good time with this two-parter.
Yeah, you just want it to keep going, don't you? Just to have more fun with these characters. And it's a shame that we probably won't get the Brigadier and Ninth Doctor again now, because they work so well together. But at the same time, I think I almost want to keep it at just this, because you don't want to extend that perfection, I guess.
And I definitely feel like the Cybermen have sort of had a renaissance with Big Finish, I think, especially last year, because I was just thinking about some of my favourite releases for a video, and I was like, most of those releases have probably got a Cyberman in it, because we were really spoilt with Cyberman. I think that this is definitely in the top 10 stories Big Finish have done with Cybermen.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I think as well, we're getting more Cybermen this year than we are Daleks. At the moment, at least.
That's a crazy thought, isn't it?
Yeah, because we had 5th Doctor 40, then this. I know we got 7th Doctor Adventures coming up as well. Silver and Ice. So they're certainly around a fair bit.
I just the brutality of the Cybermen as well, when they're sort of taking the people off the train to be converted. There's a real fear factor to these, that they are unstoppable. They don't quite know why they're doing it, but they know they have to, if that makes sense.
Yeah, they're more vulnerable as well, aren't they? But that makes them more dangerous. I think it gets right what Scourge the Cybermen also got right. When the Cybermen are at their most dangerous, when they are at their most vulnerable, they are these scavengers. They are desperate to survive, and that makes them scary.
And I just think this box set's a wonderful sort of celebration of humanity, isn't it? It's a box set about humanity.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah, that certainly plays a part nicely in this, and plays a part nicely in the resolution as well, which I did quite enjoy.
I mean, I feel like the brig was sort of missing in like the first half of 4th generation. I was like, are we going to get any more brig, or is that him done?
Yeah, it's a good little action sequence, I suppose.
He does, yeah.
Yeah, as they escape the base.
Still got it climbing them stairs. I think John Coleshaw does a marvelous job, even like the start of where the Boromoni's going to the military base, and you can sense that there's sort of this out of breathness to the brig because he's slightly older, slightly a bit more podgier. So I like that there's a distinct difference to the brig you get in the Annihilators, and I think that was the joy of listening to the Annihilators and then this box set. But you can really distinguish the two different Nick Courtneys.
Yeah, that's very true. I think he does do a good job distinguishing them and very much playing into that. I think he does his research very well. He did say he went back and listened to Nick Courtney clips from that time.
I mean, that's just him just in his downtime, really, not research. Probably.
Yeah, that's just his spare time, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it all comes together beautifully for this finale. It is, like I said, everything I wanted from this story and more. It blew me away. Yeah, I love it. I would say they are both fantastic.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think for me, it was that story. I think we've said it was that story where we're like, this is what we've wanted from the Ninth Doctor, and to finally get it. And I know the Ninth Doctor's a doctor all about new and exciting things, but it's a treat.
It's also, it doesn't feel like it's retreading any ground, even though it's got the references there, even though it's got the Cybermen. It's still a very unique story in itself and very heartfelt and true to the Ninth Doctor.
Yeah, it is very true to his character.
I think it's the best mix of classic and new, really.
It's just the best box set.
Yeah, it really is.
It is definitely the one. I mean, it'd be interesting to listen to it from Ravager's two old friends, because I'm sure there'll be little pinpoints like Bad Wolf in it.
Yeah, I think they do mention behind the scenes that, like, don't let them come forth is something that's relating to this, and obviously the trips to Scotland. I mean, I gave you my little theory at one point, didn't I?
Yeah.
About how that all comes into it, but that might be a bit too spoilerific to say on stream, so we'll leave that.
We'll leave that for maybe a future, maybe like a tier list if we can remember it when we do 2022 releases, maybe.
Yeah, or when we go after series 2 of Ninth Doctor Adventures, we'll have another 12 to add on here.
Yeah, that'd be exciting. That'll be probably this time next year, probably.
Yeah, I guess so. Which is crazy to think about. But yeah, we got
there we go.
a lot of more Eccleston to look forward to.
I think I'll go.
Yeah, I think hopefully that'll be a more consistent series, I'd say. I think they've now found what they want to do with the Ninth Doctor. We've now clicked with him on Big Finish. And yeah, hopefully it'll all just carry on the momentum, really. And as well with this series, it was very much, this could be all the Eccleston we're going to get. So you can imagine Big Finish, we're trying to get a good bit of variety in there, not necessarily think about the overall structure of the series, but giving a box set for every different fan. Whereas now with Series 2, we can hopefully get something a bit more consistent, a bit more of a series arc, and have, that style of series that Russell T Davies did, where we had those three 2-parters throughout the series, and then singular episodes surrounding that. I think that would suit the box set format very well with these 12 episodes. And then an arc building up to the finale, but we'll see what they do.
I mean, I think that's what I'd like, because I think that it's all fun having these standalones, but I think we've really shown that the way of the Burryman and the fourth generations, where the Eccleston stuff really does shine, really.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping for another classic monster returning in Series 2. I think Sontarans would be pretty good.
Yeah, I don't want them to touch Daleks.
No, not. I think there's something. You can only do that in Dalek.
Yeah.
The Ninth Doctor can't really have any more encounters with Daleks. And you can't do the Master or any other Time Lord either or anything. But certainly, there's still lots of options out there. And yeah. So,
could have the Ninth Doctor and Quarks for all we know.
That'd
be very exciting. But that is the Ninth Doctor tier list so far. Pretty, despite us being sort of, I guess, sort of waiting for that thing to click with us, it has been a pretty consistent run. I mean, I think we were probably a bit more negative, like talking about it before doing the stream, going, "Oh, is it that good? Is that good?" But it is solidly consistent. I think you can see there is a level of sort of complacency with the Ninth Doctor stuff there. There is a standard of storytelling.
Yeah, that's very true. I think certainly as well, maybe we look back more fondly over the other things now that we know it is getting good with old friends.
Yeah.
We know that it's finally clicked with us, so we don't feel like we're missing out on as much, so we're not as harsh on the stories that didn't quite give us what we wanted.
And of course, we can always revisit and reappraise. So
yeah, I can certainly see ones for me like Monsters of Metropolis will improve on re-listen.
Would you listen to it as Monster of Metropolis, then Fond Farewell, or would you do Monster of Metropolis, then Where the Burryman?
I'm not sure, really. But it all just depends what mood I'm in after Monster of Metropolis. So I think Fond Farewell you can go back to on its own as well.
Yeah.
But having that little tease at the end, and then it is also referenced in Way of the Burryman, it does sort of make sense as to listen to them back to back.
Right. Should we have a quick look at the chat and then say our goodbyes, I guess?
Yeah, let's go for it. Sludge One says, at GalleyCon, they confirmed no Eccleston or Billy sets anytime soon. Yeah, I mean, you never know. That's not something they're going to come out and say. But at the same time, Series 2 is not going to feature Rose. I don't think so. Yeah, certainly. When we had that Rose news, it didn't really cross my mind. I was more thinking about Tennant and Rose, to be honest.
Whereas I was the opposite, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, certainly they're both doing Big Finish. I feel like they'll get a box set together at some point, but I can't see it being a 12-episode series.
I can't see it being in this batch of Ninth Doctor.
No, definitely not. Also, I wonder if Eccleston wants to do it though, because so far he's been talking about he very much wants to do this own little bubble. And he keeps talking about how he likes being on his own as the Doctor. He likes the Doctor as this lone wolf. So, Bill, if they're both down to do it and they end up free at the same time, I'm sure Big Finish will gladly take that opportunity. It's very much not them saying we don't want to do Ninth Doctor and Rose. It is just partially what the actors want and also their availability, really.
Fond Farewell to me is the Doctor story of all time. That's it. I mean, it's a very good story.
So I just want to ask favourite Eccleston box set cover and favourite individual cover.
In terms, I think box set wise,
I think it's either Ravagers or Old Friends.
I'd say Ravagers for me.
Yeah. I think Old Friends definitely has improved a lot now that we've got the Cyberman on it. That makes everything click into place so much more. But yeah, overall, I'd say Ravagers gets the best cover. Individual, maybe Monster Metropolis or Fright Motif.
I don't know why, but I really enjoy Lost Warrior covers. There's just something quite fresh about them. But I think
Hunting Season has a great cover.
I think Girl Deconstruct is probably my favorite because it just fits 2005. It feels very like the hardback books you'd get.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'd say that's probably up there for me. You guys talk about 9 and Rose. I'm still waiting for 10 and Martha. Maybe that's the little project Tennant's been recording.
Yeah, I think it would be good to get more of those as well. And sort of like complete the set because he's done Donna and Rose now. So
I mean, I don't know if there was another thing on like an actor's CV where there was like a 10 and Martha box set. I don't know, or whether that was the story of Martha. It's been a long time since that was sort of.
I think Story of Martha was definitely on, or Year of Martha, sorry, was definitely on someone's CV. So that might be what you're confusing it with.
That might be.
But yeah, I think it would be good to get those two together. I think especially because with Tennant, we've been having so much of him solo recently. I am in the mood for Tennant and Companion.
Yeah, and it's not an era they've touched properly.
No.
I feel like I'm discounting, the Martha Jones box set. I'm not. But it'd just be nice to have like a proper, authentic series-free adventure, really.
Yeah. I think it'd also be nice to go back to that feeling of Tennant box sets we used to have with, one present, one past, one future.
And then would it be in the classic limited edition format or would it be vinyl?
Yeah, I feel like it probably would either be vinyl or just CD at that point.
Which is a shame because I'm like, that ruins the collection.
But then it might not even have a number on the spine because it might just be.
Yeah, it might just have
it'll definitely have a title. It won't just be called Volume 4.
What would the title be?
I suppose it depends on the Jones and Smith.
Friend Zone?
Old Friend Zone.
There we go.
Who knows?
Payne Sideman, I just want to hear more stories of Martha. I know there's a Year of Martha Jones, but I heard it and it was kind of garbage. Yeah, that box set kind of happened and didn't get good reviews. I haven't finished listening to it.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of those things that we were waiting too long for again, similar to Jenny.
Yeah, you kind of had your excitement of Martha with like Dissected, then you're like, okay, and then the box happened.
And I think also, again, with Dissected, that's continuing Martha's journey forwards. Of the Russell companions, she is the one where there is room to expand more going on. But we're not getting that with her. We're just going back and filling this hole that is already mostly filled. Like there was a novel in that time. So it just feels like there's more that can be done with Martha than they are doing. Obviously, with a character like Donna or Rose, there's not as much room to move forward. I mean, you kind of need David Tennant to move forward as the Metacrisis Doctor if you wanted to tell more Rose stories. And if you're doing that, you might as well just have it be actual Tennant Rose and two series 2 stories.
Yeah. I mean, it would be nice that we could get a point with Tennant where we alternate between the companions. We have, like Eccleston, every couple of months we get Tennant a companion, but good old Tennant's a busy man.
Yeah, I mean, we've still got a fair amount of him still to come. We've got 10th Doctor classic companions at some point. We've got Wink.
I mean, we were just spoilt last year, and I think that's what's maybe kind of sad. And yeah, I was glad about having a bit of Tennant this year so far.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a little bit in the cameo role.
Yeah, I was trying to steer away from that. I mean,
well,
not saying where it.
No.
Yeah, it's in the Annihilators.
It's really a huge multi-doctor story. There's 10 different doctors there.
Yeah,
even Eccleston gets a cameo because it's up north.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Daisy Ashford does double duty. She also plays the 13th Doctor.
Yeah. Another Northerner, so she fits right in, 13th Doctor's the person who lets him in. Sonic's the gate.
Right.
Oh dear, oh dear.
So says, honestly, I'm hyped for The Outlaws. Season 3 is my jam. The stories sound great, and I love Rufus Hound. It's certainly... I'm just looking at Ben's face, seeing... was there a reaction there? It certainly appeals to me much more than David Bradley stuff, since I don't like Series 1. I'm slowly coming around on it. I think it'll be I'll get it. I'll listen to it and hopefully like it.
I mean, I like the David Bradley stuff, to be honest.
I do really like the David Bradley stuff. I do hope we get more to at least pick up where that cliffhanger left off. And hopefully they'll be able to keep the individual covers for that series, since it's not it doesn't necessarily have to go into the 3-disc box set. It can still be a 4-disc one.
So. Yeah, that'd be nice. But the Outlaws, I was excited, and there's still an element of excitement, but I think it's more intrigued now with it, just to see what it's like. Because there was a bit on the podcast of the Outlaws, and I liked the sound of it. I enjoyed it.
I think it's going to be getting used to Stephen Noonan as the Doctor as well.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be like another Michael Troughton sort of thing, where it works better in context, really.
Yeah, I feel like the difference there is this is only like with Tim, that was the first time we had to get used to someone else in the role. With Second Doctor, we had Fraser Hines, but we only had him before that, really. First Doctor, we've had so many different actors playing it that it's just like, oh, yet another one. So it sort of has less accepting of a quality to it, I suppose.
Will you guys do a retrospect tier list on video of 8th Doctor box? We did that in July, and I think maybe when Stranded's finished, we'll add Stranded, or maybe when the year's out, we can sort of talk about all the McGann box sets and just update the tier list, maybe.
Yeah, we got 8 and Charlie tied onto that tier list as well, haven't we now?
Yeah, and Charlie, so...
Yeah, maybe, end of the year, that'd be 5 extra box sets, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So, but we'll definitely do that.
Yeah, I think we'll have to go back to some tier lists at some point. I suppose the 10th Doctor one, we haven't added Dalek Universe 3 to yet, have we?
No, not yet. No, we haven't, no.
Well, I suppose we'll have Wink and 10th Doctor Classic Companions to at some point as well, so...
And then we'll have a bit of War Master as well, and Wink to We'll have to do like a little updated tier list stream.
Yeah, we'll go back, add our thoughts, see if any of them changed even.
Yeah,
need to re-listen to Cold Vengeance.
That'll be great as a marathon in preparation. Yeah, Definitely keep us busy.
What would make me get the Jenny box set?
Oh,
more money.
Big Finish sponsoring us. So Big Finish, if you're watching, we're big fans of you. Send us free stuff, and we'll talk all about it.
Yeah, we'll do a Jenny tier list.
We'll do a Jenny tier list
for you. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna get 8th of March. Maybe if Jenny really blows me away in that, I'll go back.
Or I could just go, here's the download.
Don't say that at Big Finish are listening.
Big Finish, I retract that statement. That is just a joke. I jest. Ha ha ha. Ben ain't looking forward to Cold Vengeance. No, not Cold Vengeance for me. Luke does. Luke likes it because he's weird. Got to do what I've got to do for Colin's curator. Respect for listening to that many audios. Yeah, we do it all for your enjoyment of streams.
We don't get any joy out of it ourselves.
No, it's a real torture. We just sit there with pen and paper writing notes, going, "Oh, this is really hard.
This is awful.
This is terrible." Oh dear. Have you listened to Jenny 2 or 11th Doctor Chronicle 2? No, I've not listened to those.
And more Cybermen in there as well.
Yeah, it comes to me when we were talking about the Night of Doctor's 2 parts. Like, oh yeah, they were in Jenny. That has been on my radar since I finished Old Friends, but I went to the Defectors instead.
Have you seen Sherlock? Thoughts?
Yeah, I've seen Sherlock. I enjoyed it. It probably went a bit too big for its own boots.
Yeah. Fell off in the 3rd and 4th series and the special.
Yeah, I've got the first 3 series on DVD. I've not got the 4th or the Abominable Bride, I think.
Yeah, that was an odd one.
Like, I like the vibe of it, but yeah.
I liked going back to Victorian times, but then it just... the way they then sort of undo that, they set it up as this... They very much advertised it as this standalone special, nothing to do with the series whatsoever. It is just, let's have fun doing a Victorian story instead. But then suddenly it does end up tying into the series. So you've probably got a bunch of audience members who don't care for the modern stuff, thinking, oh, I like my classic Sherlock.
Yeah.
Suddenly being, having the rug pulled out from under them, really. But yeah, I enjoyed the atmosphere of it for a while. But yeah, then it was lost. Sherlock tier list at some point, maybe.
Yeah, maybe it's like a little special.
Who knows?
We can do the Big Finish ones as well.
Yeah, I'm rank all the different actors who have played Holmes.
Why Tom Baker? There we go. We can shoot one Doctor Who in it.
Yeah, certainly. That's what I don't. Yeah, I've only watched every episode once, so it's not like I'm familiar with Sherlock, especially since some of them are quite a while ago now. So. Well, all of them really. The series ended. 2018, 17, 16.
Yeah,
what was it?
When did it finish? I think it was 16 or 17, wasn't it?
Yeah, let's have a look.
I want to say 17.
Yeah, I feel like 17. Was it like right at the start of 17 as well? It like started New Year's.
Yeah, it normally started on like New Year's Day, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, so 5 years old.
Jeez.
Series 4 is. Yeah.
I can't remember much about that series.
No. I think the middle episode was quite good. The one that had what's his name in it? Toby Jones.
Oh yeah. Or was that the first?
Or I think he was at least good. Oh, you might have been.
I can't remember.
But anyway, that's our little Sherlock tangent there.
There we go. Let me tell you, the Great War is not only Such an excellent opener for Dark Eyes, but as a new beginning for 8. Yeah, Great War, one of the best audios Big Finish have done. Amazing.
I think that whole box set was very much something a lot of people rallied around back in the day, wasn't it?
I think that I think for my generation of fans who got into Big Finish, because I got in around 2014, and Dark Eyes was the big one everyone was talking about.
It very much changed the game for Big Finish.
It set the whole box set idea in motion, I guess. I don't think people probably hold that box set as high regard as some other people do getting into Big Finish. But I still think that it's one of the best Big Finish box sets they've done.
All written by Briggs as well.
Yeah, I mean, is it his last great horror? And I think Briggs is still doing amazing stuff. Like Annihilators was great. Ravagers was good as well.
Yeah, I think we've had our ups and downs with the Eighth Doctor in the box set series, but on the whole, when we look back at it, I feel like we're more kinder to it now. I think also just with age,
we're not
become less
angry
contrarian.
Teenagers.
Yeah, we're not angsty edgelords anymore.
No.
Mr. Montcactus says, Ben, Luke, quick question: How long did the Time War actually last for?
How long's a piece of string?
Yeah, I think I like the idea that it's both minutes and millennia.
Yeah,
because it's a Time War. It doesn't. It's sort of hard to judge. For some people, it'll be a lot longer than others, I imagine. Yeah, certainly for the Doctor, it apparently can't have lasted that long because 7th Doctor's 900 years old, and so is the 9th and 10th. But then the War Doctor's aged quite a lot from young John Hurt to old John Hurt. So that's something that I hope Russell doesn't bring back, the Doctor having a specific age. I feel like that ruins the mystery of the character a bit. I feel like especially when you're traveling in a time machine for that long, you shouldn't be able to keep track of your own age.
Yeah, age is sort of irrelevant at that point, really.
Yeah. You don't have anything to properly judge the passing of time by.
Unit Dominion, when it hears Dark Eyes being called the set for 7 box sets. Unit Dominion is one of those box sets you just forget happened, to be honest.
And they had probably a couple of other box sets before that, didn't they?
Well, Sideman 2, I think, was the first ever box set they did.
Yeah, but Dark Eyes is very much what popularized it and changed the game for Big Finish in general. Because that was also a Doctor shifting into just box sets. That was like the 8th Doctor's bread and butter after that.
Yeah, and we sort of were sad that he's never going to come out of it now. He's not going to be in the main range.
I mean, he was for one last hurrah.
Yeah, which was nice. And it kind of makes you think, I wish that story was in the 8 and Charlie box as well.
Hopes for future 1st Doctor adventures, 3rd Doctor adventures, unannounced 4th Doctor adventures, and 7th Doctor adventures.
Peter Purvis?
Yeah, hopefully get some 1st Doctor in there.
I'd like
some Stephen in there, sorry.
Yeah, because you were saying that you kind of wish Stephen was involved in the Outlaws in some way, because it just seems a bit maybe too much diving straight into the recast, maybe.
Yeah, hopefully Maureen O'Brien as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do just wonder how they're going to do the stuff with Ian, Barbara, and Susan at this point. Because which actors do you use?
Would you recast them completely?
Yeah, that's the other. I think that's the thing with Stephen Noonan as well. It's opened up this can of worms.
I think 3rd Doctor wise, 6-parter with Sarah Jane.
Yeah, definitely.
And then 4th,
I wouldn't be adverse to some 2-parters with Sarah Jane, to be honest.
Or maybe Solo 3. I'd love a story of just the 3rd Doctor and Brig.
Yeah, that'd be good actually. Yeah, maybe hopefully get John Levine back in there as well. I mean, Richard Franklin, I think he's still in recovery at the moment. I don't know if he'll ever do Big Finish again, but if we can get him back, I wouldn't say no. That was weird hearing him in the Defectors actually.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't done anything since Unit assembled.
Yeah, that's 5 years ago, isn't it?
Yeah, or more.
Yeah, I was tempted
I think
to
2016. No, it would have been 2017. Yeah,
tempted to revisit that just for Tidal Wave and to do like a little Sea Devil thing.
Yeah, you get your Sea Devils.
I
mean, Tidal Wave can sort of stand alone, can't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was given away free in Doctor Who magazine, so
yeah, and it's the second episode. But yeah, Fourth Doctor Adventures, definitely Fourth Doctor and Sarah at some point would be good.
Yeah, I definitely hope for that bit of gothic horrorness to it.
Yeah, and I suppose more Fourth Doctor and Romana at some point as well, because that's been a while. Just like,
do you think they'll recast Mary Tam?
I felt like they probably would at some point. I don't know whether there's as much need to, because the Fourth Doctor's got a lot of stuff at the moment anyway. But
yeah.
But yeah, I would. Yeah. I mean, we've said it before. The actress who was in Emissary of the Daleks make great Mary Tam.
Yeah, is it the councillor or the colony leader? Definitely has that Mary Tam vibe.
Yeah, she very much had that vocal quality to her. But yeah, certainly it's not something I'm clamoring for. It's not like because we did already get some with Mary Tam as well. Yeah, certainly. And I think it's a weird one, that, isn't it? Because with all other companions, you are missing out if they don't get recast. But we've still got Lala Wards as the same character, so it's a bit, it's a bit of a weird area of that one. Hopefully, Fourth Doctor meeting the Brigadier at some point as well.
Which I think they have done something.
Yeah. They wouldn't let an opportunity like that pass.
No,
it's really just because of how far in advance they record this stuff. We won't know about. I mean, it might be something we've already had announced, just not got the story details for yet.
Sea Devils.
Yeah, you never know.
That's what I hope. Any thoughts on the fact Legend of the Sea Devil was supposed to be the last story for 13? I don't think the Sea Devils would have been her last villain.
I think it was definitely, this was the extra one they got to slot in.
Yeah.
When it was announced. Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad we've got it. I mean, I've not seen the episode, but I'm praying it's good.
Yeah. And I think as well, just because when we got the announcement for it, that doesn't mean that's when it was officially commissioned. I think it was all sorted out long in advance that they do an extra story to get to the centenary. So I imagine whatever the centenary story is with the Master and everything, tying up all these loose ends, we hope. Yeah. Probably not, but we hope. It might think it's tied up some loose ends, but really hasn't.
Leave more questions than answers, yeah.
That seems to be the usual style. But yeah, I feel like that was going to be the Easter special. And then they ordered another special, so they pushed that back as the last story. And then gave us some Sea Devils in between.
Which is still very exciting.
If there's one companion I would never fight, it would be Leela. She ripped a Rastan warrior robot apart.
Nah, winning an arm wrestle, mate.
I mean, I would never fight. What was he called? I'm trying to hunt down the name.
I'll never fight Chameleon.
Oh yeah, that's true. What's the gorilla's name in?
Oh, Guy.
Guy. I'd never fight Guy. I was trying to. I looked it up on the cast list.
Like,
But he's just listed as Gorilla. He's not listed as Guy. So I've got to accept defeat here. I can't remember his full name.
That's offensive to Guy.
But yeah, I would never fight Guy.
No more Adventures or Companion Chronicles thoughts. I think the Companion Chronicles have probably had their day, to be honest.
Yeah.
As much as I love them.
I mean, I can see why Big Finish are easing away from that because they don't want to confuse like audiences. And also, there's just so much out anyway. I feel like early adventures, we will get more, though. I feel like we'll at least get one more of those because we did have a new producer step in for the latest set. So it'd feel odd to get that in there and then not have them carry on with it anymore. And also, it's just such an odd way to end it because you had that perfect ending point with
Daughter of the Gods.
Daughter of the Gods, yeah. Like you had this multi Doctor story.
It did feel like a natural point to close the range off if they were to end it then, but
yeah. But then we suddenly got two more first Doctor stories. So I feel like we'd at least get two more for second Doctor stories to round it all off. Yeah, and I mean, I guess that would have to be Jamie and Zoe stories, really, which I'm definitely there for.
Yeah, it's been a long time, really, since we've had them.
I mean, I suppose that's what we're getting in Companion Chronicles, isn't it? But
weirdest Doctor Who book and audio, also strangest listening experience. Weirdest Doctor Who book, I think probably Rags. That's pretty strange. For audio, I think Quiet Night. That's kind of a story what pushes you in the way that it's a story what fights you because of what the Master's doing with Joe.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah.
I think that's
you're very much put in Joe's shoes there as well, and you are made to question the reality of what's going on here.
Strangest listening experience. I don't know. I'm kind of boring in terms of that. It's either train or before bed. So
yeah, I mean, I listen to her on walks sometimes, but yeah, nothing really jumps out as strange.
No, I just enjoy my meal deal on the train, listening to some Big Finish. What more?
Probably one of my favourite listening experiences was the Grey Mare sitting down, hot chocolate by the Christmas tree, cozy night. That was very fitting for that story. But yeah, it's not really a strange one. That's just a pleasant one.
So that's like a weekend listening to Big Finish, hot chocolate and bed. Because I live in an exciting life, as you can tell.
We do our best.
We do our best, full of excitement.
Read any more pages, weird TARDIS wiki pages lately? I think we tried to keep off of that site.
Yeah, I don't want to let my brain explode. What's one bit of Doctor Who expanded lore that made you go, huh? I think anything faction paradox. I think is it Courtney from Invasion of the Bane, and she joins the faction paradox cult. I'm like, what?
Bloody hell!
Like Bubble Shock.
Why not?
Yeah, and that's one of the weirdest things. I'm like, why? Why are you trying to make faction paradox still relevant?
How long has that been going on for now?
Since the 90s, isn't it? Or early 2000s.
Bloody hell.
But yeah, I guess that's it. A faction paradox is cool. It's a nice idea, but just what they do to certain characters. I mean, I've not dived too much into Faction Paradox because I'll probably be reading TARDIS Wiki all day, but...
That just seems like a rabbit hole you don't want to approach.
Yeah, I kind of want to keep my brain in one piece.
Some of the candy jar stuff feels quite odd as well.
Yeah.
They got that whole comic series about the Brigadier's granddaughter or something.
Yeah, I know where you go with that. That's kind of distasteful, to be fair.
Yeah, there was quite a... Oh, dear. Yeah, it's just weird to think that ended up going down that direction. Especially after what seemed like a fairly normal start with these classic Who like tie-in stories like Beast of Fang Rock and things like that. Yeah, I'm surprised to see how much Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart books there are.
Yeah.
There's a chunky amount of them.
Like, I like the Brig, but crikey, I don't think I'd stomach all that.
If there was that many Big Finish box sets, on the other hand.
Yeah, I'd probably be... I'll probably be a bit different, but hey, he's got time to read anyhow.
Yeah, I mean, surely that's got to be a spin-off coming at some point.
I feel like every other unit has been touched, but bar the OGs. Unless they're waiting for Richard Franklin to get better.
Yeah, maybe. Well, you could do it after Terror of the Zygons. Have Harry in there instead.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd been cool. Timeless Child's definitely up there for one of those, huh? I mean, that's 2-year anniversary today.
Yeah,
so
it is.
Happy 2 years to the Timeless Child.
Yeah. The world was somewhat normal back then.
What these past 2 years, my God, it just doesn't bear thinking about. Yates or Benton? Gotta go Benton. Makes the best hot chockey. So yeah, I'll go Benton for me. But yeah, I think that's pretty much us done for tonight, I think.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think we've had a good time looking at our Ninth Doctor stuff.
Nice time doing a bit of Eccleston, looking at the old chat.
Yeah, thank you all for joining us. It's been quite a busy chat tonight.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice. Hopefully we'll be back in our usual slot on Friday. Going forward, it's just that life. But yeah, we hope to at least do one stream a week. So we'll
things get in the way sometimes, but I mean, we try our best. We get a night we're both free, and we just go, you know what? We're in the mood for a stream. We'll do one.
And here we are.
We've got a lot of different options to get through at some point, so we're just making them happen. And more coming in all the time. We get new ideas, new releases come out we want to talk about. There's no shortage of ideas for Big Finish fans or streams in general. Because we got some other classic monster tier lists, monster TV story tier lists coming up.
Yeah, will it break the internet like our Dalek one? We'll have to wait and see, because our Dalek one was definitely quite divisive.
Yeah, I mean, certainly stylish one, I think so.
Yeah, but I feel like our Cyberman one will be maybe a bit more tame. I don't feel like there's anything too...
No, I think people are less protective of Cyberman stories as well.
Yeah. We'll just have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. I feel like if anything, we'll upset people more by putting ones they dislike high up than putting ones they like low down. I think that's more the risk with us with this one. I mean, that's Timeless Children. We're going to have to talk about that as well there.
Does it count? Does it count?
I mean, I've got it on there with Ascension of the Cybermen as a 2-parter.
Okay, all right. We'll have to watch.
I mean, we could just do what the Timeless Children itself does and pretend that the Ascension of the Cybermen isn't part of the same story, because it very much throws a curveball in there. But well, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Pain Simon, don't need Invasion is Sacred. Well, spoiler, I think the Invasion's going to be top tier. You don't need to worry.
That's safe.
It's a safe one. You're safe there. It won't cause you any pain, Cyberman.
No, not with the Cyberman story.
No. We won't get any gold and rub it on the chest unit and say suffocate.
God. Stylish one, no.
We'll not have this slander now. No.
We tried to leave amicably and you're starting this.
Oh no. Lie slander. And on that bombshell, I guess it's time to say goodnight.
Yeah, I think Pain Cyberman is pained enough after that.
So yeah, thank you everyone for joining. Arrest him, officer. Yeah, please do. Yeah, so thank you everyone for joining us for our trip of a lifetime of Eccleston shenanigans. So yeah, thank you everyone for joining us, and we'll see you next week on Friday. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, hopefully so.
Hopefully so. So thank you, Luke, for joining me.
Thank you, Ben, for having me.
Pleasure as always. So we will see you very soon. Take care, everyone, and yeah, thank you, chat, and we'll see you very soon.
Have a fantastic rest of your night.
Absolutely. Hey, what's going on around here then? Bye-bye.
That's how we're ending it.
That's how we're ending it. Bye-bye, everyone.
Take care.